Hello everybody and welcome back to the Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep Final Mix playthrough. In the last part I told a little bit... Oh no, I didn't tell a lie. I thought I had done, but I hadn't. This is the penultimate part of the Mirage Arena. This is where we get to take on one of the two really difficult missions. I have switched up my shotlock to Prism Rain, because I just wanted something a little bit different, and actually this one's pretty damn good and more useful to me in this than Lightning Ray has been. But as you can see, I have shifted up my command deck quite a bit to feature many triple Faragas, and the rest are pretty much Seeker Mines and Kiragas. The reason for this is the boss at the end of Keepers of the Arena, which is one of two original Mirage Arena battles which net you a trophy after beating it. Now, annoyingly, having so many triple Faragas in your deck can make this particular Mirage Arena battle last a lot longer than it has any right to. And I'm sorry, but this guy is just infuriating right now. Just sucking up all the magic. I don't want to use my rhythm mixer, thank you very much. Can you just die already? And then you're not even being affected by this. I need to actually hit you, but oh, this one irritated me. It's just like, seriously? You weren't just gonna let me hit you with magic. You needed me to obliterate you with something else. But yes, as you can also see, I'm decided to go with Explosion because for what we're doing, ultimately, it is the most useful finish command, in that it is the quickest one that is the most powerful, and it doesn't put us at a distinct disadvantage right at the end. Well, so basically what happens with Teleport Spike is that after you shot it out, you then have to land, and in the point where you've landed, that is where you might get blindsided by an enemy, because you can't dodge at that point because you're still dropping and so on and so forth. So using Explosion means that you move out of that very quickly afterwards. So it is just much more useful for taking yourself through these things. Now, as I was saying, yeah, Triple Faraga is not very useful for actually going through the majority of this. It just makes it last a lot longer than it really should do. If you're using a more general deck, then yeah, you'll get through the basic Unversed a lot quicker. The main issue, though, is the boss on the other end of this, because this boss will mark the final Unversed that you have to face in the game in order to complete your list of Unversed. That is if you have, played through the rest of the game and also beaten all the Unversed challenges. And to get to this point, you are also going to have had to have beaten all the other Mirage Arena things, so you'll have faced any extra special bosses in there. I'm mostly thinking of the Mimic Master. I think he's one of the only ones, and also I'm in Prisoner 1, 2, 3. They're the only ones that are exclusive to the Mirage Arena. And so, yeah, obviously you've got to beat all of them in order to get the delight that is that completion on the Unversed. And obviously, once again, if you want to complete the report with every single character, you're going to have to do all of the Mirage Arena's battles with every single character. What is frustrating then is that you're going to have to take on this really quite challenging fight without Triple Faraga. And while Triple Faraga does make this exceptionally easy, it also makes it more bearable for anybody who is perhaps slightly underleveled as I am, but also who is perhaps not as adept at playing through this game as is perhaps required for some of these more challenging fights, because they are incredibly frantic. Like, far more so than I ever remember any of the Kingdom Hearts 1 final boss, secret optional bosses being. Like, Sephiroth was hard, but he wasn't as hard as some of the fights in here. Like, they're just ludicrous, and it's why I was just like very much like, you know what, I will do what I can do, but I'm not going to go above and beyond to try and beat them, because my sanity is more important. And that is very much the case, because I do these things for fun. I don't want to completely aggravate myself trying to defeat a boss that is just not going to behave, or is just being more challenging than needs to be for its own good. Because that is sometimes the case with boss fights and optional boss fights. And sometimes they do just make them really challenging, and sometimes it's a little bit... It's not actual challenge, it's cheap challenge. And while in a lot of cases it is a case of where you just got to get good, or you've got to level up to the point where it makes it simpler, or you've got to have sort of a decent command deck, you do have various other things, and I like how they just throw Iron Imprisoner 3 out at you in the middle of Keepers of the Arena for no good reason other than the fact that they just feel like they want to. Thankfully, as you can see, Triple Faraga and a good rhythm mixer, and really, he does not stand a chance. And this is why Triple Faraga is an absolute beast for dealing with any of the imprisoners, actually. Because they get stunned by Triple Faraga. And that means that you can get them in a loop. And if you can get them in a loop, you're pretty much on the way to victory. And I will always take that, because anything that's going to give me a better route to victory, I will take. But yeah, I'm trying to think of any other secret optional bosses that take the mickey. I mean, the ones in Bayonetta, they do take the mickey a little bit. Although, because of how Bayonetta is, it is still very much a case of skill. It's just that they are running at, in both games, non-stop infinite climax difficulty, and they're seriously difficult. So it makes sense that, you know, you'll frequently have trouble with them if you ever decide to take them on. I'm actually really struggling to think of other secret optional bosses in games, which is really bad, because, you know, I have played a lot of them at this point. You'd think I'd have a slightly better memory of secret optional bosses that I've taken down over the years. I suppose actually I haven't taken down too many secret optional bosses. We've done ones in Kingdom Hearts 1. I'm gonna deal with one here and show off another one. And now I did both of them in Bayonetta because I was stubborn and I was going to show them off come rain come shine, because once again, really stubborn. Oh yes, no, I did Tales of Symphonia because I know when I recorded that one. Actually, to be fair, a lot of the times where I've taken on secret bosses is because I've been doing it through.
Take that! Take that!
I mean, actually, let's have a look at my delightful list of playthroughs over the years. I mean, I suppose actually, most of the games that I have done over the years haven't actually had super secret optional boss fights. I mean, no, I did do Tail Sonata. Very proud that I finally did that one, because that's something that I have been wanting to do for many, many, many years. And finally actually did it, of beating the big tower thing. I beat all the super secret optional bosses in Final Fantasy 13-2, and I believe I did the same in Lightning Returns Final Fantasy 13. So I did do all of those, so props to me on that one. Not a super secret optional boss, but I did beat all of the games in Rhythm Thief and the Emperor's Treasure, which requires you to get an A grade on all of the first 49 games to then get the final one, and then I managed to get an A grade on that one as well. So there's that one. Okami doesn't really have any. It has the Abandoned Spiders, but I wouldn't really class them as super difficult optional bosses. Yeah. I suppose I actually haven't beaten that many super secret hard optional bosses over the years. But I think that's probably partially because not many games actually have them. Which, I mean, partially is a shame, because they are always quite fun to take down. But then sometimes, as I have said, they are just way too difficult for their own good. And just, sometimes just like, no, not doing it. Not doing it in the slightest. Yeah, I'm just going through my backloggery at the minute of all the games that I have beaten to see if I can think of any other secret optional bosses that I have dealt with that have been challenging / delightful. One of the things that you realise sometimes when you go through these things is how many series you have ended up playing a lot of. So when I look through these things, I see a lot of Sonic, a lot of Pokemon, a lot of Mario, a lot of Kingdom Hearts, a lot of Kirby, and just generally a lot of Nintendo. So yeah, actually, of the games that I own and have played / beaten / completed, there's actually not that many that decided to throw in super secret optional difficult bosses. I mean, they're not actually that common of an occurrence in our gaming when you think about it. I mean, the fact that I have played and beaten nearly 250 games over my lifespan of gaming, which I do hold to be actually quite an impressive number. I know some people have got like thousands of games in their collections, but like I'm very proud that I have basically nearly beaten, well, I've beaten / completed the majority of the games that I own, and that is nearly a grand total of 250. It's currently sitting at 246. I do own more games than that, because there's a few that I haven't added to my backlog yet, because I don't want them to negatively impact my score until, you know, I actually start them. Because when I start them, I will then play on with the intention of actually finishing them that time. But anyway, here we go with one of the toughest challenges this game has to offer, unless you have to Praga. This is Iron Imprisoner 4, the last verse that you have to face. And yeah, as you can see, he does a ludicrous amount of damage to you. Basically what you want to do is you want to dodge out of the way of this attack in particular. Don't have Fire Wheel attached because that really doesn't help you with your dodging. But then you want to be using Triple Viraga and Seeker Mines as much as possible. If you get into this bit, don't worry too much. Pretty much all you need to do is go stand in at the edge and just run about a little bit, because they don't really hit you all that much when you're there. But then your main thing is just trying to steer clear of him as much as possible. This is a move that is annoying, but it is possible to dodge. But if you can hit him whilst he's in that, then one, it's a free hit, but also you can stun him eventually. It just can be a little bit tense in trying to get that stun on, because he moves really quickly, and this is why you do not want like Teleport Spike in there, because it's not actually going to help you. And as you can see here, it doesn't stun for long. I mean, obviously, like you saw with Iron Imprisoner 3, he just kept getting stunned and wouldn't really get up. Whereas this guy, you're very unlikely to get into a command style against him, because he's dodging about so much that you're not going to be able to keep the hits up consistently. And especially when, you know, he goes into this particular bit, and obviously you can't hit anything there, so it's just going to continually tick down. So you need commands that are going to net you some powerful damage quite quickly. And if they can stun him, fantastic. If not, it could be worse. Yeah, I did get a little bit trapped there. But it's okay, because we have sort of got him into a little bit of that cycle. And we did actually manage to get up into a command style, which is a little bit of a miracle, if you ask me. But as you can see, you're very unlikely to actually get a finished command off with it, because already we're back into this thing. It did take me a few tries to deal with Iron Imprisoner 4, and that does mean that I did have to play through the entirety of Keepers of the Arena again and again and again to get to him. But once I had this tactic down, it does make it a lot easier, because then it does just become about getting in your dodging, and because you can stun lock him for short periods of time, it does just make it a lot more bearable to take on. But even with, you know, using very samey commands throughout this fight, it is such a fun fight when you're actually, you know, doing well at it. think... Okay, no. We were close to getting him in a fatal stun lock there, but it wasn't quite to be. But we are getting very, very, very close to putting him out of his misery. Now, I will say, this it can be quite frustrating because he does just keep on doing it. And if you don't manage to dodge out of it before he starts flinging you towards him, then you do just end up dodging. It is what most of these more challenging fights in the game amount to, is mashing that dodge button. Which does mean that I struggle to see how I would manage to do this as either Ven or Terra. One, because their dodge moves are not as good, but also because they don't have the awesomeness that is Triple Faraga. So it makes me kind of sit there and just go, what cheap tactic am I supposed to use to take down a guy who moves so bloody quickly, it's unreal. But there we go, that was the fatal stun lock, and Iron Imprisoner 4 is defeated. And that was the penultimate challenge of the Mirage Arena done. Or at least the penultimate one of the final, the original arena stuff. And we got Light Bloom there, which is a really, really cool, ultra powerful shot lock. It is basically the most powerful one that Aqua has. Each of your heroes can get a shot lock from that. I'm not going to show off the others, obviously, but Aqua's is Light Bloom, and it is delightful and powerful. A bit difficult to get off sometimes, but still, it is there, and it is awesome. And we're going to see if we can purchase a few things. I'm missing... Oh, they're quite a lot of money in terms of medals. Yeah, no, they're not going to happen. But it's okay, because in the next part, after I've saved up, because, you know, I was just like, oh, thank God it's done, we're going to be taking on one of the other big challenges in the Mirage Arena. Let's go do this.